Oh, shit. What up? What up? 1 2 1 2. We're about to get this shit started. I'm sorry about that. I didn't know the mic was off, but now
I will just say
we're about to get some real stories. It might be a little loud, might be a little clouded, but
there's a few
it's gonna get real deep.
always run into problems that have always
Parents talking about their kids and the shit their kids put them through.
Okay, my dad passed.
You don't want that?
So now it's just my mom.
All right, here we
My
go.
dad would say stuff, he wouldn't be very like.
Her name is Anna.
It really came down to whatever my mom said.
The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
It
Anna.
would help my older
Put a D in front of it. It's not a.
regardless of whatever their situation was
So
with
stupid.
all of us, like bailing out my older brothers. They would put the house up on bail, the car up on bail. However, I don't even know how that works, but that's happened many times for a couple of the same people. But as years gone by, okay, now my dad's passed.
Oh, by the
Now
way,
it's
we're
just
live.
My mom. I don't care. My brother.
I got stories.
But my dad has passed. Now it's just my mom. She is, she's retired. She gets her income from this.
Hey, look, and I'm having Jimador.
Jimador on ice.
Jimador on ice.
You better put some tomato juice or something in there. Oh, maybe some.
If you're gonna mix me a drink, don't talk about.
I ain't mixing shit.
Other ones that don't.
2 packets of what is that?
2 packs of shit the fuck up and let me drink my drink.
Margarita mix.
What the?
You need to mix it with something.
You ain't need the name or nothing.
Well, I'll still be saying night night pretty soon, but anyways.
Sorry, tell me what can I do to make?
No,
this
I'm
drink
not even
better?
talking about that. So going back to the kids, my mom would help her
I'm
kids
just
regardless.
Coke?
Like, a few of them more than
7 Up?
others.
You have a 7-Up?
And
You have a Coke?
me and my mom, I've
I'll do a
always
Coke if you have a Coke.
helped
I'll
my
do
mom
7-Up,
and
you have
dad,
7-Up. I like Coke better.
whenever health issues came along, whatever, I'd always be there because I wasn't the one working. I'm raising my kids. And besides that, I'm trying to break a cycle of I don't want my kids not knowing that I love them. I'm always hugging them. I'm always telling them I love them in a weird way. But that's not how I grew up. It's not how my parents grew up, so they didn't know how to share with me that kind of thing where I knew they loved me, but it wasn't shared. So I went after what I wanted.
Yogurt.
Anyways.
I was just kidding. I'm fine. I'll just get some water. Water sounds good.
One of them and say,
You can get dehydrated.
Mom,
Now I might have some like pickle juice.
Pickle juice, So quit asking her for fucking money. Because my mom would tell me, oh, so-and-so wanted money. Oh, so-and-so wants to borrow money. Well, that shit. And then sometimes my mom would just write a check for somebody so they wouldn't be evicted. And I'd be like, what's this shit? I would go straight to that person. You need to figure your shit out. If whatever it is you're doing, you need to stop because this is your last time. My mom would do it one more time. My mom tells me. She doesn't ask me for permission, but she would tell me. And then in my mind, I'm like, I go to whoever it was and say, y'all need to quit this fucking shit.
Right.
And figure it out yourself because mom don't need to be helping you anymore.
Oh, really? So
Oh,
keeps on helping the kids.
Yeah.
When they have
They're
issues.
freaking 40, 50 years
Oh,
old.
yeah. Wow, that's not good.
My mom right now is 85. And I think my last conversation with one of my siblings, flashed.
Oh, by the way, I just want to say thank you everybody who was watching the Twitch channel, YouTube. I'm on
For me, I
Twitter.
don't care.
and,
I'll tell any of them how I feel.
Do you help
Only-
your mom?
What is
with
it?
their money? You help your mom with their money.
What's
Make
the
sure-
I don't
Xbox
tell her
channel?
because that's her
What is that?
No,
kid.
but you kind of watch over
Oh, yeah.
where it's going.
She'll tell me.
Oh, good.
And
Xbox channel? I don't know what that
I
is.
think
but
If
it's
she
not
asks
too
me
Once you get
about
to a
it-
certain age, you got to kind of help.
Mixer. There you
Now
go.
I
Mixer.
do. Now I do.
Yeah.
But
Mixer.
through the last probably 5 years, if she would say something, I'd be like, it's up to you, mom.
Yeah.
I mean, because at the end of the day, that's her kid.
Right.
Right?
It's her money too.
And for me, I'm going to help my kids however I can help them. But when it becomes repeated,
yeah.
and they ain't trying to help themselves,
Yeah,
and
they're
it's
just abusing
repeated mistakes they're making,
Yeah.
when
You know, let's be honest, we ain't doing shit.
You know,
Like,
that's always
listen,
Where's she going? Oh yeah, Layton's gotta go to work.
I do.
Okay,
She's at the
good
work
night.
tomorrow, doesn't she? There's 2 people have to work in.
Yeah, give me
I
love.
ain't gotta work shit.
Yeah, we'll give you elbow. All right.
Yeah,
Sleep
yeah.
well.
Sorry.
We'll try not to keep you up.
Aunt Tina doesn't.
Want us to bring anything to her?
Yeah,
To her house.
my sister's paranoid. So.
Well, and that's how actually my sister that is with my mom in Layton, she said, I'm gonna tell him I'm not coming in no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, well, good, because you don't need to
'cause
expose
she's
mom
older
to
and
it.
stuff, Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom's 85.
That's why
Yeah.
your daughter's
That's
not
why
gonna go
my
to work.
sister's kind of
Well,
being.
Well, Jennifer decided not to take that job because she doesn't want to be around people when they go
Yeah.
back and.
Mhm.
No, Jesse told her
Yeah.
she wasn't
That's
taking
that's a
the
good
job
idea.
because. So my daughter, she's in the service industry, and so she got a job at Safeway, and my son said, no.
But for me, okay, so like with Preston and Katana right now, like with us not having jobs, I'm in my mind, I'm like, I told Preston, I said, y'all's getting a job before I get a job because I can watch Little Man.
No, it's not about the job.
No, but then I'm thinking, okay, so Freddy's, all these places are hiring, but they're hiring for the people that are doing the online orders or delivering. Good night, love you. So they're not really in contact with people. They're going in, doing their little orders or delivering where there's not so much contact, which I told Preston that's where he should like tap into and see what comes up of it. Because for me at my age, I don't feel like I should go work if they're younger and they're home. Why should I go to work?
Yeah.
And even for Alex, even though this is our home, it's our bill, why should I go to work and bust my ass when y'all is half my age? Y'all should be busting your ass.
See that? Looking at.
Yeah.
Been working since I was 15.
With
Yeah, me 16.
with my son, he's told my daughter, you cannot go work at Safeway and come
You can't go work at
back
Safeway?
here.
Yeah.
Because-
And yeah, that's, and it's gonna be,
You're gonna be exposed
Exposing.
to all these people.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister lives there, and she's older.
Mhm.
She's 67, and she has asthma.
Yeah.
She got some
compromised
And
immune
immunity.
system. Yeah.
And same,
And that's where it comes between the pick and choose type
yeah.
thing.
What is this?
I don't know.
So for me, it's
Not mine. Not it. 1, 2, 3,
Wanna
not
try
it.
that?
No.
That's
That's energy, yeah. It's already
Mhm.
11:37.
That Braden
You
will
can do
Oh,
this.
Donna said.
Braden, you
"Night.
take this tomorrow
Thanks for
morning.
coming."
No.
Huh?
I
These are
know.
Braden for tomorrow morning.
Are you guys coming over?
When?
Come on.
What's going on tomorrow night?
This?
The same thing?
Yeah. Whatever.
Okay.
I mean, we're already
What else can we
exposed.
do?
And also,
Yeah.
somebody posted, well, they had the Italians that are all out doing their singing, their karaoke and stuff like that.
In
Yeah.
their
In Italy.
balconies and shit.
Yeah, do you see that?
There was
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
a
yeah.
DJ out on the balcony, and he had the whole
And
fucking.
so Secret posted the quarantine at the Rough House or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and Nedge is like, yeah, we in quarantine, we're going over there.
We got plenty of room.
Yeah.
I can clean out that garage, and that'll be a night. I mean, you've been in that room. Hardwood floors. What you need more? There's a bathroom right down the hallway.
We're good. So if we're gonna come over tomorrow, what do you want us to bring?
I think it'll be later because I'm taking Lil Man to Marlene.
Yeah. Okay.
So
The question is.
6, 7.
The question is, what do you want them to bring? That is the question. It don't matter.
Probably
when.
at that point, it's probably snacks.
Like what kind of
Okay.
snacks?
Okay.
Whatever you want to snack on.
Yeah. So if you could bring like steaks, like a
Mhm.
ribeye, like a ribeye, maybe
Medium
a
raw.
T-bone,
Potatoes,
T-bone,
some-
maybe do some rack of lamb, maybe.
So chips and
I don't
salsa.
think, yeah, I don't
Huh?
even eat rack of lamb, but
She said, I'm gonna bring some cheeses
Bring some
with
toilet
a
paper over.
flavor around.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I bring toilet paper over and I don't have to cook
For what?
anything.
She Donna.
I
What?
miss those ones, yeah.
Why? They don't have enough pillows? Oh, Donna. She said she will bring over toilet paper tomorrow. Hallelujah!
I don't have to cook. You know what was funny is when I went to the
I'm about to
restaurant
wipe my ass
earlier,
tonight.
I was like, people coming over should bring that up.
Oh my God.
No, we have a bidet. Like if you
No,
want.
well, that's what I told somebody at Albertsons.
We do. It's in a
It's
squirt bottle. No!
Oh my God.
Come on!
Oh my God.
It's Filipino style! No, it's on a Thai spray.
Filipino style. Oh my God.
It should from the bottom. And now we're here.
Oh my God.
Spray yourself.
No, I told somebody at Safeway.
Gotta express yourself. Express yourself.
Toilet paper is an issue of getting a hold of. I got a
Honey, I used your shirt
Yeah,
yesterday.
there you go.
I was like,
Each
wow,
toilet.
I'm sure. Yeah.
That's funny.
You know, I don't even care. Fucking toilet paper is a luxury that
Honey.
they did not have years ago.
When you were sleeping, I pooped, and I went to your, and I wiped my butt with your hair, and then
With my hair, and I said,
well, yes.
"Swack across the forehead."
Honey, you smell like shit. You smell like asshole.
We got a few rolls. We got about 10.
You counting your rolls.
Shut up!
Counting them.
Why you counting?
So,
You're
what
like,
we eat?
look, they doing inventory count. Like,
What?
like one.
No. When I was in Vegas, I was like,
You still rolls?
wait a minute. I said, babe, you need to go to the store.
I didn't pay attention.
You need to go get this, and toilet paper. So I get home.
The fuck you need toilet paper for?
That's what I was saying. We got plenty. So we have like 6 rolls. We're good.
Yeah, okay, so that's funny. Because if I'm staying in Vegas and they're coming in and giving me new towels and shit, I'm taking every extra toilet
towels,
paper.
Donna?
No, every extra toilet paper roll they
Are you
give me.
fucking ghetto?
Anywho,
Angie came home last
I
week.
get home and I'm like,
I go shopping on Friday. I'm like, man, there's no toilet paper
Yeah,
anywhere.
And I'm like, the fuck? I told you 2 days ago to get fucking toilet paper because people are fucking insane.
No.
It's like,
You need to subscribe to the News Tribune and wipe your ass with
You
it.
could do that.
I wipe my ass, and you know what? I got like a little. There's a little cartoon character on my
I'm
butt.
sure
That means ink stains.
Yeah, you get that.
Ink stains on your
Yo, read. It
I
says
suppose
Trump is a
things
win.
are better, but
I'm just saying. Listen, honey,
Well,
if you
bro,
can't
paper
wipe your
water.
ass with a bucket in your fingers, then you need to go back to civilization, or what is it? Primitive living style. That's what I do. I'm like, that's a lot of shit. What this? No, my tub's right here, so it's not. I'm wiping it. Like,
Then you wash your hands.
and then I got like,
My balance.
you don't see the stars. You better get a blue light.
No.
Well, we're going back to primitive age. Like,
We're not there yet.
you better.
Toilet bottle action.
Maybe in a week we'll be
Listen, Amazon people come to my. I throw it out, and they're like, "Oh my God, they're throwing shit at me." Yeah,
Monkey boy.
yeah, that's right. I throw it up in my window. I'm like, Amazon. Like how many YouTube videos you seen where they're throwing monkeys throwing shit at people?
Yeah.
Monkey scat.
Anyways,
Monkey scat.
listen, you don't need toilet paper. There's plenty of clothes that we're gonna donate. Like, where's my shirt, honey? The one with the stain.
Well, you know what? When I'm holding out,
The shit's
Donna!
Donna, where's the
Donna!
Get my brown white shirt.
I'm like pushing out the door.
I'm like,
You know what? Maybe,
get closer.
you know what? Maybe just when I get here, I'll just have to say, Donna, is there a supply in the tub?
No. Don't you wipe your ass on my window. Shower curtain. She'd be like,
You better have shit ready for me. And I mean, shit needs to
you
be
gotta bring
ready.
your own. This camping 1010. 110.
101?
No, 2020. This camping 2020. When you bring your own shit, bring your liquor and bring your toilet paper.
You know what?
That's how we roll. No toilet.
No, you need to have a roll.
No, no toilet
You
paper
need to
roll.
have a roll.
We have hand wipes, right? The napkins. We have those.
No, this is the best time you got to go to the restaurants that are kind of closed or they're kind of open and be like, can I use the restroom? And then you go in there and then you like break open
Put it in there.
the brown paper.
All the brown ones.
The big roll.
The big roll. The big printer roll. Brown.
The truck stops.
And then when you invite people, how you doing? Here you go.
Oh, you got the brown truck? You got the hard ass.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah, the stuff at work is so thin, man.
Wait, you got stuff at work? Come on, look at that. We're conspiring. We're like,
Hold
on,
let me join the
Yeah, the rice or
PSA
something.
again. Let me get access
There
to
you
we
go.
got no kids, and they'd be like, infiltrator, who's coming? They ain't got no kids in here. Let me check your name.
Oh my lord, that's hilarious.
I mean, seriously, if you can't wipe your ass with your hand, then you really got a problem. I mean, I wipe my ass in the shower.
Well,
Take a shit, take a shower. What the fuck's wrong with you?
but
Take a shit, take a shower. I think that's going to be a new Trump slogan, like Corona.
Oh my
Take a shit,
God.
take a shower. No toilet paper needed.
Oh my god.
you know what?
Said
I
Dimitri.
don't disagree that there's going to be shit coming out of his mouth because there is.
All I know is I don't watch the news because it's a virus in itself. The news is the virus. What are you talking about?
Right?
They just like propaganda.
Propaganda?
Propaganda. Is it propaganda?
Papa.
You know what I'm saying? I do propaganda.
Propaganda.
See? But I'm just saying, stop watching that.
Anyway,
Talking about, okay, so they were like, oh, people over 60 getting sick, and then the kids are out there partying and drunk, and they're like,
They're like,
no,
"You
and they're like, no, young
motherfuckers."
kids getting sick, and the kids are like, what?
Man, no one's getting
Like-
sick. What are you talking about?
Nobody's getting like look at the, what is it, 6,000 deaths? 30? I mean, out of how many?
no,
Okay, they got 8 million people in New York, and how many deaths?
you know what? It's going to get worse, Alex.
Huh?
It's going to get worse.
Well,
But
I'm
you're
just
under
having a great
quarantine,
party
so
until
you're
you
good.
piss
Yes.
off a parade.
I'm
You're quarantined,
sorry.
so you're safe. You're
Don't
quarantined
mean to
yourself. You're
piss.
self-quarantined.
No, I get it. No, I
But-
understand it. But you know what? You have to understand that it is, it is the flu with influenza. I mean, it is the flu with the influenza. It's like the flu, and then you could get sick if you're not healthy, if you're not taking care of yourself.
It's going to,
There's a lot of people that are
Thank you.
infected. There's a lot of people that are infected that are not documented.
I'm immune
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
compromised.
Huh?
So I'm immune compromised.
What does that mean?
My immune system is not.
Why are you here? Do you not understand?
Are you infected?
No, but Braden, he goes out.
I
She
go
goes
out. I go out.
Okay, well,
I
don't
know.
blame it on me.
No, I'm not. But when
I'm 50, so I mean,
No,
I
you're
could.
50.
I'm almost 60.
Half a century.
I'm almost 60.
I drink
Oh,
So
you're only 56. You got a ways to go.
the point is, we're gonna live how we live.
That's right.
We're gonna die how we die.
That's right. Cheers.
But I think this is serious.
No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
It
I
is
mean,
serious.
I may act light about it, but it is serious. But I don't think. I mean,
I
if
think
you're
it's
not
more
washing
serious.
your hands and you're not taking care of yourself, your problem.
Right. But I
But-
think it's more serious than the flu.
Well, no, I agree. I think it's more serious than the
Well, we don't
flu,
have
but I don't think it's.
immunities to it.
I don't think it's to the point where you have to worry about it. I think if you're going to get sick, you're going to get sick. I mean, if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. And you can't do nothing about it. You know, no matter how many precautions, unless you live in a bubble. All you have to do is make sure you wash your fucking hands. Don't come to my house coughing, you know, and bring your own toilet paper or just use your hand.
You know,
But-
I think that's why I need to draw the line.
Using your hand.
Don't use my curtain. Don't use my curtain because I know it's brown, but I know what brown and doo-doo brown is. There's a difference between brown and doo-doo brown.
Towels on the
I
back.
swear to God.
Plenty of towels on
I
the
check
back
everybody that
toilet.
comes out. I look at my curtain and be like, oh, they're good.
Just
Take
saying.
the curtain down.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Don't
no,
cut
no, don't get me wrong. I agree that it's serious. It is very serious. However, I don't think it's as
On TV down there. Look at
as
that.
worrisome as. Don't watch the media. The media, it's propaganda fear. They are like promoting fear, serious fear, because that's their job. That's their job. It's like, you know.
They do have a lot of news on it, that's for sure.
Oh,
Like
because
a half-hour show of 23
that's-
minutes is about the coronavirus,
Listen.
and you got a little something else.
I'm more about the numbers.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
I'm more
if you
about
look
the
at the
numbers.
numbers, how many people have died? How many people have died in
Well-
America?
But wait,
Okay.
have you seen the numbers of people that have died in China?
Like 34,000?
Have
Or
you
30,
seen
no, 3,400.
the numbers
Yeah.
that have
Yeah.
died in Italy?
About the same.
Yeah.
But their daily totals are going up. They're like 200 and something like yesterday.
So the population in China is billions.
But you can't believe China because
No.
their
They're
information.
gonna hide
no,
their shit.
They're gonna hide.
Right,
Their,
right. So if they're hiding their shit, that means there's a lot more fucking
no, I understand
people.
that. I understand that. I totally understand that. But you look at the populace of America compared to the death toll today, like it's very
Yeah, it's just that
small.
we don't
It's
know.
very small.
There's about
And
lots
you know,
that we don't
and-
know
and-
about.
And
But-
what we're doing today, right now in America, where we're shutting down
Yeah,
bars,
yeah,
we're shutting
yeah,
down
yeah.
10 people, no more. I mean,
Yep,
there's
yep.
all this like
Yes.
fear, and everybody, even going to Costco and you're shopping, you can sense. And I was telling Donna, you can sense the tension in the air.
Mhm.
Like everybody's with a smile on their face, but they have that worrisome
They're
like.
like, get the fuck away from me,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
I know, but okay. So,
Yeah.
however, what we're doing right now, I think it is, in my opinion, I think it's curving. You know,
What it
containing
could
Well,
be.
what it could be.
You know what? In a week, let's revisit this conversation.
And honestly, I think it's going to be the same. I think, yeah, there's going to be more deaths, but I don't think it's going to get to that point where, like, 1 out of 10 people we know.
I
Yeah.
hope not.
Right, yeah.
No,
No.
I don't think it's going to get to that. Honestly, I think it's just like a flu. When's the last time you had a flu? Exactly. When's
Yeah.
the last time you had a flu?
Yeah, not
It's
bad.
been
Okay,
years.
so
It's
so
been
Not,
years.
not
Okay.
the full-blown flu.
think about this. When's the last time you had a flu? And this is the same thing. It's like, how do you catch the flu? You catch the flu based on touching something, rubbing your
Being in
eye.
contact.
You're not cleaning yourself. You're not making.
So do you think they're more focused on like the disease itself versus the economy? Or is it
Wait.
both being portrayed as the worst thing that can happen?
See,
I'm kind of confused on that question.
So you're saying that the coronavirus itself
it's no different
isn't that
than
bad. It's
Contagious
bad,
as. Mhm.
but it's not like everybody gets sick. Everybody has flu symptoms, like
I mean,
we all
the way
can
you
get sick.
yeah, the way the coronavirus, the contagious of it is more than a flu because it could be on a surface for
No, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so but you're making it a little less than
Mhm.
being serious. So do you think people are more worried with it being an illness versus the economy or it being both? Because the economy is shit. It's coming
it-
down to
It
shit.
has fucked our whole way of life.
Yeah, it has. The whole country.
And
No,
so,
it's worse than 9/11. It's worse than 9/11 because
they're
9/11 was
saying-
in New
Some of
York.
them are saying it's worse than the crash in the 1920s.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well,
well,
that's,
you're looking
that's
at
what I'm
stock
saying.
market.
Is it more focused because
something
of the
like that.
coronavirus, or is it because the economy is crashing as well?
Well,
Or
the
is it
economy
both?
is crashing because of the coronavirus, which is telling me it's more.
I think the economy
Serious.
was starting to crash before the coronavirus. Wasn't it coming down or not?
No.
About the same time?
No.
Yeah, about the same time.
Because when Trump was talking the other day, and I'm not a fan. He was talking, and the stock market, they were showing it as he was speaking, doing this press conference, and the stock market actually went up. And I was like, that motherfucker. He's the Teflon president. Nothing is sticking to that bastard.
So my thoughts on this is a way. This is I think what's going on here with the coronavirus is a way of controlling
The masses.
the masses of what we do.
Mm.
You know, first of all, you can't control them if you can't disarm them. You can't control them if you can't control their money, and you can't control them if you can't like put fear in them.
Mm.
So my I mean, this is
ultimate, yes.
the thing
I got
is
you.
it's like, okay, 9/11 was a thing, and all of a sudden they took a lot of our rights, our abilities to travel, you know, and all of a sudden they put TSA and restrictions on
and blah,
and
blah,
whatever,
blah.
and then now we got comfortable with that, and all of a sudden this, you know, and this has been talked about, and I showed that from Bill Gates 5 years ago about, you know, it's not about war, it's really about, you know, biological and virus warfare. That's going to be, you know, Bill Gates had talked about this 5 years ago. And nobody, you know, and all of a sudden Trump closed that, where the biological warfare entity that we had in the government, he shut that down.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this coronavirus comes out,
How
epidemic
convenient.
down to a pandemic.
Yeah.
So now new laws are being in place where they can now create these areas that are quarantined, and these areas that are quarantined, because people that are supposed to be quarantined now are
under
leaving
martial
whenever,
law.
and then all of a sudden now the
Basically.
quarantine areas, they have barbed wires inwards where you're quarantined. So if I hold a thing to you and I say your temperature's high, whether you see it or not, you're quarantined, you gotta go, you're going, you know, and it's based on data that what YouTube channels you're watching, what information you're gathering, what you're putting on your phone, what's, you know, like you're searching, like, you know, how to bug out and how to, like, you know, anything against the government, whatever, they're checking, and then they go like, you know, you're quarantined, you actually have and you're like, what test are you doing? If they say you have it, you gotta go. And then your neighbors are like, oh my God, they got it, they gotta go. Yeah, I don't want them next to me. You know, that fear, because there's so many people that are so hyped on that.
I see where you're going with this.
So all of a sudden, so now
and
new laws are being put in place that work because America is freaking out, and they're like,
well,
but think about this: we're bringing all American in, anybody that is American, bringing it back into the country.
Yeah.
And all those people that are not in America, get out, go to your country, and then all of a sudden closing the borders. Canada closed the borders. Nobody's. When you see the papers, who are you?
You know what? Brian and I were talking about this
About that,
actually.
Closing the borders.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about the fact that Trump is changing. He's positioning himself in a way that he can stop the election.
In a
Oh,
crisis.
oh my gosh, let's declare martial law. Oh, we can't have the election. Oh,
No, yeah, no.
Oh, look at that. Oh, poor us.
Well, they already had some of the
The primaries.
Primaries
or,
canceled.
caucusing,
Okay, so
Oh.
with what I was saying, going to where now all of a sudden there's a mandatory vaccine. Like you have to get vaccinated for the coronavirus. Like it's mandatory. Like they're creating it, and everybody's fearful. Like I want it. I want it.
So we're going to put the mark of the beast in you.
No, what? It's not even okay. So these are the steps. These are the steps. You put so much fear, whether it's a flu virus and a few people are dying, and I mean, it's a little bit more than the flu, but the numbers. I mean, like if you look at the numbers, let's like look at where we are
I
today.
see where your conspiracy theories go.
But I'm just saying.
But
But look at this. So then
I'm
all of a
feeling
sudden laws are being put in place where you're starting to lose more and more rights because somebody says you're sick. Like there are people in New York that are contained, and then people a lot in China when they had their.
Did you see
they were-
exactly those
and they
motherfuckers
were
say
bringing
no?
Bringing them back.
Yeah, China
Like,
contained that
okay, so
shit.
now the National Guard are being called out for support.
Not yet.
And in Iran, they have all the huge graves being dug out, and they have trucks with these coffins to put bodies in.
I don't
Are they
think
really?
the
I've seen that.
National Guard has been called out.
Look it up right now. You look it on
Yeah.
Google.
No, they
not here.
have. No, I think they have because the person that
Well,
was
when they started
quarantined
building.
in wherever the first place,
In
the
King County.
King County, the person who was quarantined left.
To go across the street to 7-Eleven.
yeah,
To get,
And then
he was buying
the
whole
next-
hoes and ding
He
dongs.
was doing them.
He was hungry.
they-
He got
I
no
think it
money.
was
He's
Cairo
quarantined. He
shared
got
that
no job.
They
He's
had
like,
the
I'm
National
hungry.
Guard coming
Like,
for that
because I'm
area.
not- Okay, so.
And then
so
somebody
in
posted it.
King
Here it goes.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying
took off.
though. I'm just saying that they quarantine these people. They don't feed them. They don't serve them. Whatever. What are they gonna do? They're gonna leave, and they're waiting for that. They film that. They make it news, and they're like, and then
making it all scary. He was just like a homeless guy, I think, who said
but
he
that's
had
what I'm saying.
said he had COVID-19 and wanted a place to sleep.
Well, no,
that night.
this guy, they were waiting for the test results to
Right,
come
yeah, they
back.
hadn't gotten back yet. Yeah, see, he just took off. I don't know if they were
All I'm
filming
saying is, it's a great gateway for the
restrictions,
the,
making more
the issue
restrictions.
of
and
like,
stuff.
oh, we need to contain these people, and these people are me, these people are you, these people are us. Like if they don't like what you're looking at on YouTube, if they don't like what you're looking at on doing research on Google, on your phone, on your data, because Google, okay, so
Pro-gun, pro.
so Google came out, listen to this. So Trump comes out and says, Google, there's a website, you can go there and test to see whether or not you need the test. And then all of a sudden, NPR comes out with an article saying Google is using analytics from your search results or whatever and collecting health, like, which is what is that law? HIPAA law. So Google is collecting this data and sharing it. So then it becomes an issue. It's like
Yeah, it's a HIPAA thing.
yes,
Yeah.
but the thing is, Google is collecting this information and sharing this other information now.
Huh.
I mean, I'm just saying it's
Yeah,
deeper
yeah,
than
yeah.
what we see. Whatever the media is like, you got to get
What
checked
they want
out,
us
and
to
you
see.
got to get swabbed or whatever, and then all of a sudden they start categorizing you and they start putting you in these. I'm just saying, don't just go, because don't be that. That's propaganda. The media is just, trying to sway those that are sheep.
But the media is going both ways too. They're this way.
Well, think about it. Like China, all of a sudden, is now kicking out the New York NPR and young Turkish media out of China to report on what is going on in China. Like if you Google that, that is like today's news. They are no longer allowing them to conduct business in China. Why is that? You got to understand why is that?
Because China doesn't want their shit in the papers. They're
Maybe
a closed society.
Okay, so do you understand Wuhan and do you understand how that virus and why it started from Wuhan in China? Do you?
I heard
Well, it was in
rumors.
the open market, wasn't it? And then
No.
jump from
No.
animal
Okay,
to animal
so-
to animal to human.
Okay, yeah, but Wuhan is the center for their CDC of containing viruses and doing research.
So what
Wuhan-
you're saying
something got
is
out.
it was
What you're saying?
something that, oops, fuck.
Well, that's the thing, and that's why there's so much issue about Trump and saying it's a China virus and you know and the whole trade agreement and all this stuff that we're going. But anyways, but Wuhan is the capital of the CDC of viral and their research that they do there. And this and you
So-
know what there was
This is in the back of my
Got
head.
away. Something got away.
This is in the back of my head.
something.
What if they leash something
Mhm.
to fuck with our elections?
I don't know. They killed a lot of their own people, but screw with our election.
Well, China doesn't give a
Now that
fuck
they're-
about their people.
Mm-mm.
So, what
with their
if
election-
China, along with the Russians, because the Russians have already been fucking with our elections.
And you know what? They've been silent this entire time.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. What's going on in Russia?
Yeah, and
Do they have it
no, we have no infections here.
I don't know.
And if they have infections
The
there,
whole
they're
world
not
is.
saying, "Oh, look at us."
You know,
So
I mean, this is a
you-
rabbit hole that you can totally jump down.
So there's that too. That's something I have thought about. What if they are in cahoots with the Russians to fuck with our elections? And Trump's already saying, "Oh,
Well,
I'm the
messing
savior."
with our economy.
First he
Yeah.
was like,
Economy.
"Oh,
We're gonna take a hit
this
of the
is
government.
the Democrats. It's fake news." Then he's like, "I'm your hero. I'm the one that discovered this shit. I'm fucking amazing."
So
He's a fucking motherfucker.
you know what? We should pull out the Bible and start reading Revelation.
Oh,
Because
trust me, I have already said he's Satan's spawn, and
then guess what? We shouldn't be drinking. We should be praying. We should be in
You do
church.
both, I guess, huh?
Cheers.
Yeah.
Corona.
yeah.
I think the
You're
virus is bad,
done
but-
with Corona.
the-
I haven't seen a fucking Corona. all-
We empty. I mean, I'm gonna
Oh,
go
well,
Michelob.
I'll get a case. I'll get a case
fuck?
of Corona for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm just
Bring
gonna
you some
say,
Corona.
yeah, we're gonna switch the virus to Michelob.
The
But I'm
virus.
just saying though, yeah, these are great conversations. These
Yeah.
are great thoughts,
Yeah.
and you know, don't get
They're-
caught up in the propaganda. of
No.
fear, because-
Don't think that these thoughts aren't in the back of my head.
It's
You know,
pretty intense, but I think the economy is just going to be like,
No,
what's
the
going to
economy is
happen?
going to be.
No one's working.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's getting paid.
Yeah.
The only people are still getting paid. You know,
So
with your unemployment and
they
you know,
are
health and stuff like that.
creating
So.
this to make us totally dependent on the government.
Hello.
Okay, don't think that I'm fucked up and I
No,
get this.
but that's the way. That is the way. Is be totally dependent on the government. Where all of a sudden,
well,
but the good thing. So this is the balance. Is the climate, the fact that it's been a week where nobody's on the road.
yes.
Calm down.
Mhm.
So, but you know what I'm saying? There's the CO2 emissions and the
Our
fact that people
Carbon footprint.
the carbon
has gone-
footprint has gone.
Down big time.
So, I mean, we're like talking about theories. Like, who knows? What if it is to save the planet? What if it is?
Save the planet is a conspiracy.
No,
What if
what
God-
if it is?
What if God
No,
or
no. What I'm
higher
saying
power-
is, like, the scientists say, how can we
how
stop
can we
Yeah.
this
fuck
world?
these fuckers
How
up?
can
the
we
world,
stop
huh?
this world from killing this planet?
Mhm.
Honestly, like, if we keep doing this, we're gonna get to a point where we cannot
Wow.
we
Mind
cannot
fucking blown.
we cannot rewind what we've done. How can we
I
stop it?
remember seeing in China when they stopped. There's all the pollution and stuff was like gone. It's like it was pretty
In Wuhan.
cool when they
What do
all
we
the
need?
emissions were gone.
They're like, we need 6 months. If we can stop emissions for 6 months,
Huh.
we might be able to survive the next 100 years.
Fuck, Alex, I had
I
this
thought about that.
has
So-
never occurred to me.
So what if they say,
Holy
let's do this,
shit.
shut everything down, contain everybody.
Kill a bunch of old people.
Yeah.
Or
you know
not
what?
even kill, but just put the fear where we shut bars, we shut all the economy down. We're going to be in a
Of the
recession.
world.
Listen, these guys, they're smart. They know. They're looking at from a 30,000 foot point of view, opposed to us being in like a 2 feet point of view. They're like, what we need to do is shut it down, stop it, and
Damn.
nobody's on the roads. So then for
Damn.
3 weeks, 6 months, whatever it is, so that we can save the planet. And then all of a sudden, like, you go to Italy and their canals are clean. It's not murky and filled with pollution anymore. Nobody's on the streets driving. Like, shut it down to save the planet. Just
Wow.
saying. Just saying.
Wow.
Get everybody home.
Wow.
Nobody driving.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Wow.
And then when you restart it back up, you
And then
need
we
to-
started back. Now at least no more CO2 for. I mean, look at
Oh, they
Like,
could, they
who's
could
on the
probably
road?
slow things down too as they try to bring it back up to speed.
fuck
you
the
know?
economy, save the planet. Let's
Mhm.
live.
They have more people working at home. You guys have done this now. People can start working from home now. You've already done it. You did it for 2 months.
And then
Now do
you
it.
know what? And back in the day, what they called it was cocooning. Like everybody's cocooning. Like everybody wants to stay home, and which is a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is for the environment, nobody's going out, nobody's O2 emissions or whatever. The bad thing is you're not socializing, so you're in your own cocoon.
Yeah.
If you think about this, we're all being huddled in. We're all being like, keep it within your circle, within your community, within yourself. You don't know what's going on out there. We don't know what they're building out there. We don't know what containment centers they're building out there. What facilities they're putting together to where everybody's in fear, stay at home, we're building this. All right, let's go. You gotta go.
Oh, I see.
You gotta go. And all of a sudden they have these facilities and you're in containment, now you're an immigrant because you have the virus, because they say so, because a test that who knows. If somebody says you have it, like we test you,
You're gonna get a tattoo, a number across your
I'm just-
shoulder.
Listen,
Oh,
This
come
shit
on
happened.
now.
I'm just
Wait.
saying these are things that you have to think about, but not live your life. That's the thing. I mean, Donna and I have talked about this. It's like, you know what? We're not going to change what we do, who we are, how we live over this. We're going to adjust, but we're not going to
Yeah,
change.
so we're adjusting.
Yeah, we're adjusting.
We're adjusting.
You can't.
All right.
You cannot live in
Okay,
fear.
fine. We'll be over tomorrow.
What? No, y'all can do what you do. We do what we do. We've been doing this for years. Like what we do here.
Hiding from the government.
Hiding from the government in our cocoon.
Yeah. As you on Facebook. You ain't hiding for shit when you online. So stop. Nobody's hiding for nothing when you online.
Where's your bar?
Even if you're not
Is this
online.
a microphone or something?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Everybody,
yeah,
let's
it's
say
fucking
government
Oh, wait a
together.
minute.
Yeah.
So everybody's
Attached to Google.
knows about our conspiracy.
No, the
theories.
government's already listening.
No,
They're always
you-
honing
you
in.
see all the chats
It
over
don't
there?
even
Look,
matter. I mean,
you see on the right hand side, you see on
Uh-huh.
that computer there on the right hand side, those are, yeah, go ahead and read those chats. Like you going to hell, the
Right
government's
here?
at you. Yeah, no, yeah, read those, yeah.
What is it?
Those are people, oh my
People
God, don't
talking
poop your
about-
pants. Huh?
People talking about
That's the
what
government.
they're seeing.
I can't read it.
I can't
Too
help you.
small.
There you go.
I told Angie that I think Trump is going to get rid of Pence and bring his son in as a next vice president. So when he's done with his next term, he can hand it over to his son. Like, oh no, you know, I think.
well, I don't know what day it was, but it was Monday or Tuesday of this week
Read it.
Yeah.
It's too
when
small.
somebody asked Trump a question,
Uh-huh.
and he said when his son called and talked to his dad, or Trump said, "Yeah, my son called and asked how bad was it," and then he replied it was bad. To me, I don't know what day it was, but I don't know what the conspiracy is behind it. But Trump obviously had money before being president,
Oh, for sure.
Like-
Billionaire.
lots of money, and maybe with the stocks. I'm not saying it's all money
No, he's
behind
money
it.
driven, honey. Don't.
No,
don't
but-
get it wrong.
With the stocks going down, plummeting as much as it has been, like how do you pump the brakes? Oh, I gotta check in with my son, see how everything on my outside president stuff, even though he's supposed to
Yeah.
let that
Oh,
shit go as
no,
a
he-
president.
Oh, I see.
He
Let it
hasn't.
go.
No, of course not. And then when his son asked, how bad is it, Dad? And his dad, it's really bad. And he even said that. It's like, oh, shit, he worried about his money.
About his money, yeah, that's for sure.
But I think it's bigger than that. I think that, like, even Alex conversation on his dad's birthday about, I feel, I don't know what the conspiracy. I'm not trying to argue
No,
with you,
I
Dad.
don't understand you.
It's once I threw the government in there, he was like, hell no! Ah!
Okay, that's not how my dad talks.
That's exactly how he was. We were just talking about it, and I said, well, I think there's going to be a conspiracy theory behind it. We don't know what it is now, but
Right.
after the
Come out
fact,
later.
it'll come out.
That's why this all happened, yeah.
Oh, no, what's actually basing that on? Where are you getting your news from? And I said, well, my local news stations, Cairo, Como, they're not saying it's a conspiracy. I said, that's my opinion. I said, but I am getting whatever they're feeding me. I'm listening to it. Am I going crazy? No, I'm not going stockpiling. I'm not telling my kids to, stay in. You need to limit your contact. Yes, you do. You need to take precautions and wash your hands and all that stuff. But I'm not going crazy like some of the people. I said, but I think it's bigger than what we know what it is
Of course.
now.
Of course.
There's a lot more.
Years
down
later,
the
it's going to
road,
come
yeah.
back and say, this was the bigger picture. Because of this, we had to do this, and this.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just my
probably
opinion.
will. I bet there'll be.
And
some
he
stuff behind it.
once I brought in. So you think the government's telling you everything?
Mhm.
And he goes, the government's telling us what the CDC is telling or whatever. Where are you getting your news from, lady? And I said, well, Cairo, Como, Q13, whatever they're sharing. But also, Alex and I also watch other stuff that isn't on necessarily the news, CNN, and all that. You got to look deeper. You have to research for yourself. And then, but he just, once I said government, he like shut down and said, oh, the government ain't going to do nothing. But they do. The CDC is going to tell the government, this is what we know about this, whatever. And then the government is going to tell us what they want us to know, what they're
But
going to
how
share with the
tainted?
media. But
Yeah.
what I didn't get when I shared this with one of my sisters, they're like, oh, what about Agent Orange? Like when they were saying all the troops were exposed to Agent Orange in the, what was it, the Korean
Vietnam.
Vietnam
Yeah.
War. And the government denied until it was exposed that, yeah, they were exposed to it. They couldn't deny it no more. So then they had to, take care of their people that were left to take care of, which my dad was one of them. But if I was quick-witted like that, so you don't think that the government was hiding Agent Orange? What do you think they're hiding about that?
The exposure to the chemicals over there.
And so, because I'm not quick-witted like that, I just was like,
oh, I missed that. You're laying in bed going, oh, I should have said that.
No, when my sister told me, I was like, fuck. And then what was the other one that the government was denying? Marlene would know. She's the one that was like, but Marlene's quick-witted like that. Boom, 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 boom. And I was like, oh, too bad. But my whole
tobacco
thing,
industry, denies tobacco.
Of course.
Stuff like
yeah,
that.
until now.
They finally proved it and stuff like
It's
that.
all about liability and who are you going to have to
Well,
pay.
But you know what?
Effects of oil.
It's
and stuff
about
like
tomorrow.
That too. Petroleum
And
products.
the problem is, it's about tomorrow, because what you see today, people have a hissy fit, and then whatever the news put on tomorrow, then you're upset about that.
Mhm.
I mean, crazy how they can just eliminate the society issues
Oh, yeah.
just by changing the
I know. You don't hear anything about homeless anymore. That was a big problem. And the crime in Seattle and Tacoma.
What was I asking about? Like
Homeless.
Popcorn monks.
remember the
with
popcorn ones with the
vaping.
vaping? Like that
Oh,
was a
yeah,
major issue.
right, yeah,
Like, oh my
right.
God, your kids are gonna die. We gotta stop the vaping.
Right, stop.
And then all of a sudden, you don't hear shit about that.
Yeah, that's funny.
No,
Well,
it's
they took it off
sad
the shelf,
because
didn't they, for a lot of it.
Yeah, they
because
banned it.
Yeah.
You know what? You're still vaping.
yeah, fuck
He's
them.
going to do what he wants to do.
No, the thing is, it's propaganda. I'm not following in that shit. I've been doing it since I was 40, and I'm 50 now, and I've been vaping. And you're telling me about popcorn? I've been listen, I was working 7 days a week, working out 7 days a week, running 4 to 5 miles a day, and still vaping. And you're going to tell me vaping's bad? I couldn't do that smoking. I was smoking 2 packs of Marlboros a day.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, yeah, 2 packs of Marlboros a day. That was my habit.
Wow.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I'm vaping, and then I can run 5 miles a day, 7 days a week. And then they're going to come out with this, and
That was a big change.
and they were, I mean, I got family members like sending me articles. I'm like, fuck, I don't fucking, that article don't mean shit to me. Like, I'm doing vaping the way I do it because it works for me, and I don't have this.
And Alex doesn't honestly. My dad and mom both smoke all throughout since I was born. And I know how my dad, he died of COPD, emphysema. And I know growing up as a young 10-year-old, teenage years, as an adult, I knew how his life was. And I would know how his breathing was as a teenager. He would wake up.
Oh, really?
Alex doesn't have that. He's been vaping, like he said, since he was 40. He doesn't wake up the way my dad would be waking up at this age.
Tar and stuff in your lungs with that. The cigarettes, you got that tar.
However, my family members that continue to smoke, even though they know what my dad went through. I mean, everybody's seen how my dad passed.
Yeah,
I mean,
they know
in
what
and out of the
their future is.
hospitals.
And they still smoke.
They still smoke. And they have what my dad has. Emphysema, COPD.
Wow.
And probably half of them are in denial of it. Like, oh, that's not from smoking, it's just a disease. No, it's because you fucking smoke.
Right.
Your lungs are bad. You continue to smoke. I don't get it. Even when my dad was passing, my nephews and nieces that were too young to smoke, you would have thought they wouldn't have touched a cigarette. They smoke.
Wow.
And it's like, did you not see how Grandpa was in and out of the hospital? I don't get it.
People smoking like they used to, I mean, I think it's kind of a lot less people smoke now.
Right.
But the ones that are smokers or that are addicted to that nicotine, the smoke, they are in worse health conditions than people, I think. And I don't know about the flavored vaping. Alex just says the nicotine. But I think the popcorn lung pertained to the flavored.
Yeah. I think
Well, I do nicotine
Vaping.
flavors, so.
But that's just nicotine.
You know,
so I don't know about the
Fortunate.
flavored.
Mm-hmm.
in that I was a chain smoker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I smoked almost 2 packs a day.
Mm-hmm.
When I met
Wow.
him,
2 packs a day. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
I smoked all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I would never quit smoking. And then I met him. And I was like,
You got motivation.
what are the odds that he's going to stay interested if you're a smoker? He never said,
Don't smoke.
don't smoke.
Whatever.
When he met me, I was a smoker.
Mm-hmm.
He was still interested. He still went out with me. But I took note and said, how are you going to sustain this relationship?
Look at her. She's like thinking about it.
No,
He's a
I
good
told
kid,
you.
Brian. Wow.
I told you.
Hey,
I was
he's
like,
back.
And I said, no, I quit cold turkey.
Wow.
2 weeks. 2 weeks after I met him. And yeah, cold
Good
turkey.
for you.
I was like,
No?
done. And that's now why I'm back. But we won't discuss that.
Well, no, when I was up in Fairbanks, Alaska, I was working up there for like 3 to 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for like 2 years for the company I worked for. And the second round that I was up there, a pack of cigarettes was like $11 a pack.
Wow. That was before it was raised here.
Oh, okay. So it's a lot cheaper here.
Yeah, it was still cheaper here than up there because everything's brought up.
Yeah. So it was $11 a pack, and I was smoking 2 packs a day. Go do the math. And
Yeah, that's pretty fast, isn't it?
so I got to the point where I decided to cut it off cold turkey. I did that, and I was working out. I started running and trying to get my lungs, trying to do something creative because I was fiending after 30 years of smoking. So then I come back home. I started chewing the nicotine gum because I go to Costco, get the 4 milligram, and I start chewing the nicotine gum because I started getting crazy. Pressure at home, and
all the kids.
I was like, "What are you doing with your life?" Yeah, can you imagine in your head?
Go to work.
Anyways, so I started I was chewing the nicotine gum, and my buddy Dan worked at 7-Eleven, and they were getting these vape pens. Just they were gonna start offering them at 7-Eleven.
10 years ago, huh? So you said you've been doing it since you were 40?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 10 years ago. So on my 40th birthday, he brings me these vape pens. Like, hey, we're gonna offer it at 7-Eleven. I got a whole thing here. I'm gonna
Trial.
give it to you. I hit it, and I got the throat.
Woo!
I got the nicotine fix, and I was like, these are amazing. So then I vaped it, and I was like, wow, this is great. Okay.
So you get the nicotine,
So I got
but
off.
you don't get all the crap that comes
Exactly.
with it.
So I did that. And then I think for probably the first, 6 to 12 months, I started buying liquids and nicotine in itself, and I started mixing my own juices and started finding my own contraptions on how to vape it. Like, I'm trying to find my right fix, what I wanted. So I've got all these different juices I'm ordering from online. I've got nicotine, like, huge, and I'm like researching, like getting VG and it's a chemical or whatever, and I'm like doing my own mixes, and I get to the point where I find a liquid that is perfect for me, and then I was like, and I've been doing that since. So as soon as I after doing my own mixes, can't get the right mixture, then I find a liquid that works for me, then now that's what I order, and I have like 6 years worth. So
You hoarded enough of it?
yeah, it fits right here in my pocket. But and then this is all I do. This is all.
It doesn't cost as much as smoking cigarettes, I assume.
No way, no way, dude. I was spending so freaking.
Well, and I honestly believe if Alex still smoked cigarettes, he'd be waking up like
Right.
my dad did.
Right, yeah, 50
Like
years
so
old.
many
Totally.
people I know wake up that way.
I would
Yeah.
totally be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that tar build up in your lungs. You got
Oh my god.
Get it out.
It's
Yeah.
everything. It's
the smoker's cough.
The,
It's in your lungs all the time.
carcinogens,
Yeah, and I
poisons.
I even try to go back to smoking. Like I went to go smoke a cigarette or whatever, and it hurt.
Oh,
it
yeah.
hurt my lungs
Oh, wow.
compared to this. And even smoking cigars, I smoke cigars and.
I'm totally afraid
Mm,
to smoke a cigarette because I feel that I would get into it.
oh, easily.
You probably
easily.
would.
Because it's a chemical in your brain.
Mhm.
It's not,
Mhm.
and it is, you know,
The brain will
the
remember it.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
But
remember
it
that?
is that chemical in your brain that will trigger. All of a sudden, you're
Yeah.
euphoria. You're
Yeah.
like, oh my god,
I would-
I'm good. Yeah.
But I know it tastes like shit.
Oh no, trust me. You don't have so much guilt raising my kids.
Yeah, because Preston was like in second grade when my
Because
dad
kids
actually was going way downhill.
Yeah, and my kids would come and want to give me a hug, and I'm like smoking, and I felt like I don't want to hug you right now, you know, and I would
That's
like.
right.
Here's a memory that I have.
Mm,
Haunts me like a mother because
Yeah.
when we moved to the Bay Area, Jesse became asthmatic,
mm,
and I'm firmly convinced that the island that we lived on was toxic,
Okay.
and Jesse totally reacted to that.
Mm-hmm.
But we were smokers. He was never like that before, and he was not that way after we left there. But while we were there, anyway,
Mm,
we had some people over one night, and I was smoking, and Jesse was coughing.
mm,
And this guy, he was a Marine, and he was one of my employees actually, but he was also a Marine. He was like, Inch, the fuck?
Kid.
The
Yeah.
kids coughing. What the fuck are you doing? And you
Wow.
know,
Yeah.
because I was raised the way I
Mhm.
was, because my mother didn't give two shits.
Yeah.
She sent
Smoke
me to my
whatever. It
room
don't matter. Yeah.
because no, you get the fuck out of here because this is my space. And that
Yeah.
was the first time
So you felt.
I was
guilt.
ever made aware
Okay.
that my actions were harming my child. And mind fucking blown. And I was like, wow.
I felt the same way, and I have, and this is true. I have guilt with my kids because they're like, Dad, and they come like Leighton or Preston would come and say, Daddy, and I'm like, and I felt smoke on me, like
Right, you
I
felt
just had a
smell or whatever.
like, oh, okay, you know,
Yeah.
and I push them away, and I, you know, and then psychologically for me, I felt like, you know, when you, I mean, my kids, they probably don't, or they do. Maybe they do. Maybe they have like there's a disconnect, and that's the me pushing them away.
Maybe
saying,
they felt that.
like you don't love me. Like I'm happy to see you, and you're like, I feel like I got cigarette smoke. I don't want you to, and that's their like you pushing me away. You never loved me, kind of thing, you know. So I mean,
I'm sure
these
you
are-
made up for it in other areas.
Absolutely. I hope so. I hope so. I think, you know,
No,
I
I'm-
mean, the
Well,
fact that,
and not
you know what,
even
the fact that my kids
I'm
come
kidding.
back,
No.
my
I'm sure
kids
you do a lot of
stay,
other stuff.
think about it.
Yeah.
My kids
Yeah,
stay the
yeah.
night, you know, they don't have to stay here.
Yeah.
Like my daughter,
Mhm.
like she's a grown ass woman. She could leave and go home. The fact that she wants to stay,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and she feels comfortable here.
Mhm.
To
You
me,
know
it's a
what?
blessing.
My children too.
Yeah.
My
know?
children too.
So
We have come full circle,
Mhm.
and I think they forgive me for all my transgressions, but you know, every once in a while it bubbles to the surface. Yeah, you sucked as a mother. Yeah, I know. We've already established that. But, you know, kick my
well, I
ass
haven't heard
again.
that yet. You sucked as a dad.
Kick
so.
my ass again.
But if my kids ever said you sucked at a dad, I would probably go, tell me when, and I want to see documented. I want to see like video. You
No,
know?
you know what?
See a
I
notarized account.
Yeah.
I could know exactly. Yep.
But anyways, that is my.
But so okay, so you guys say that. For me, I don't know my mom and dad. I mean, I've never asked them like what their situation like. Why did you do this for me? Why didn't you do that for me? Or why was you didn't never tell me I love you? Why whatever the case for me was.
What are you needing? What do you want to know?
No,
What
for
is
me,
it?
I'm gonna tell you. For me, it was we weren't a close family. Like we never hugged. We never said I love you. Me and my, with any of our siblings. I never tell Deborah. I never tell my sister. Whatever.
Really?
For reals. But when I became pregnant with Preston, I don't care what I did as long as I was at my parents' house. If I sat and brought my laundry there on a Thursday night to do my laundry there and just sit on the couch and be like watching whatever they watch, so be it. I made a step to go after something more than any of my siblings.
Which is what?
Be closer to my family.
Reconnect.
Make that relationship, which I believe I did. But okay, so, you know, if my kids want to say I did something wrong, let them bring it on and help me make it be different now. But my parents, so I can know that they were raised differently. I know my dad was raised in a different family lifestyle. I believe he was adopted out. I know my mom was raised in a different fact than I was raised. I mean, she was taken out of her home. Her dad was taken out of her home. Harsh conditions, whatever. So I get that, but do I blame them for anything they did? No. They did what they knew what was right.
So do you
Best they
tell
could do.
your children that you love them?
Oh, all the time.
Well,
We hug, and that's what I'm saying. I broke a cycle.
Yeah.
I went after with my parents, my mom and dad, whether we're just sitting on the couch watching Wheel of Fortune or whatever it was. Even I would drag my kids along all the while, whether I go over there just to hang out and be like la la la, watching whatever they watched or dinner or whatever it was. I always went for it. I didn't care what it was. We're there, and my kids are gonna know their grandma and grandpa for, you know, whatever it is relationship they had. And I believe my kids, honestly, and not saying anything, my kids probably had a stronger relationship with both my mom and dad than any of my other nephews and nieces and brothers and sisters.
You know,
Spent that time with them.
the first time I ever told my parents I love them, and I cried when I said it because it was hard, was when I moved to Washington. I was first time I ever said I love you.
It's so, to this day, it's so hard for me to tell my mom.
Yeah.
And when Alex and I found out we were pregnant with Preston, we weren't married. We were dating for 5 years, and my image of being pregnant or whatever, having a family, was you be married and then you get pregnant. So, and I only say that because one of my oldest sister, when she was 18, came home, told my parents she was pregnant, grabbed 2 paper brown bag fulls of her shit and left.
Oh, jeez. I'm gone.
My parents did not kick her out.
She kept
left.
her own ass.
And I was all of 9, maybe 10, but I believe I was like maybe 9.5 or whatever, because my nephew, I remember watching him as a 10-year-old, like literally changing his diaper, feeding him bottles and shit. But that's what I remembered. And so when we became pregnant with Preston, we went to the ultrasound. We were probably almost 3 months at the time. I knew I was pregnant, but we waited that long to go get actually tested. They sent us to get an ultrasound to find out the exact date and everything.
Yeah.
We came home. I told my younger sister, Deborah, because I still lived at home, whatever. And she was like, so what are you guys going to do? And I was like, well, we're keeping it. You're going to do what? And she flipped out on us. And so I was like, what the fuck is she giving me that kind of reaction? What is my mom and dad going to think?
What are they going to do? Yeah.
So then I got to muster up it to tell my mom and dad again. And my mom was in her room laying down reading a book. So I told her, and I'm crying. Well, why are you crying? I don't know. Oh, it'll be fine. So then I go tell my dad. I tell him separately. It's not like I could tell, hey, mom, dad, I got some pet kid. We come together. I didn't know how to tell him. So then I tell my dad, and I'm crying. Well, why are you crying? I said, because I thought you wanted us to be married first. And he grabbed Alex on one arm and me on the other. It's going to be okay.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, oh, what? And that was such a relief.
Sure.
And I was like, wow, okay, this is doable. Like, it was something different than any of our family member has ever done.
Yeah.
And then we got married 6 months later, and our marriage was probably the first marriage, like real marriage, like we had the ceremony and everything. My oldest brother got married, but to me as a kid, I didn't look at it as ceremony type thing. It just was something we went as kids, and they're getting married. Oh, okay, But Alex and I made it like
it was a thing.
We got married in a church.
Yeah.
It was traditional, and we took our vows, whatever. And so it was big in our eyes, and then I think in my parents' eyes and everybody else, it opened. I feel like a window to my family.
I actually asked your dad, her dad,
for her hand.
For her hand. I said, and he was like, well, yeah, Don did it.
Which I don't think anybody else did with my older sisters. No.
I asked him, I said, hey, I'd love to marry you guys.
Alex was the only one that actually joked with my dad and sat with him and was like, okay, Ethan, whatever he would say, where everybody else was afraid of my dad.
Yeah,
they were scared. All my brothers, and my brothers' wives and sisters' husbands or boyfriends was scared of my dad.
Wow. Yeah, because he was, military guy. He was, he did like the lines, the electrical lines in Alaska. So he did like.
Oh, he worked on the power lines.
He worked on the power lines in Alaska, and he was a truck driver.
But he wasn't mean.
No, he wasn't mean, but he was very
salt of the earth.
Yeah, he was, but he had a little. I always say he's racist, and he was, because he would like see the TV. He'd always comment on the TV as like, why don't they just go back to their own country? With black people, whatever. Little redneck.
Oh my God, that sounds like your dad.
Yeah, there you go.
But they would have like the 1 or 2 black friends that would be like, okay. But then he would say shit. Yeah, they would. He would say shit, but my mom would be like totally like, oh, why don't you go back where you came from? This is my land before it was my mom's Alaskan.
But but I was never, I don't get fearful of people.
Yeah.
Anybody that's like, and I think I said it earlier, is like when they're harsh and they're stern and they're rude. To me, I don't get offended by that, and I get encouraged to.
And my dad and Alex would joke around all the time, and I think
he would just like, he wouldn't call me a spick, like get out of here. No, he would never be like. No. He would never be disrespectful to me. But.
But
he was.
I've had to put up with some
No, not me.
Yeah, no.
Her dad was
Bullshit
her father.
not only from your dad, but fucking Darren.
There,
Yeah,
No,
Ethan
we
was.
had
I think
a
they're
brother-in-law named Darren too.
Yeah.
No,
It's like, you know what, motherfucker?
Yeah,
no, my dad would never.
Don't.
I think my dad met his match with Alex. Like,
But I think
oh,
his
what
dad
the, you know?
Yeah.
Past it.
And then
It's
it
like,
came another.
You know what?
Legend.
Bitch, I'm not going away.
No, and with Preston, so we left Preston with my dad. He was probably 4 or 5, 3 or 4, and we had to go to the store for something. But my sister said, "Hey, I'm gonna leave Preston here. Is that okay?" My mom still worked, and my dad was like, "Well, as long as he listens." And so my sister went back to Preston. You need to listen to
Grandpa.
Big Grandpa, and well, if he don't talk smack to me, I won't talk smack
Oh
to
my
him.
gosh, that's hilarious.
That was Preston as a 4 or 5-year-old.
5 years old.
And
Oh
so
my gosh.
Marlene left, said, "Okay, Dad, don't talk smack to Preston. He won't talk smack to you." But that's what it was. And my dad didn't take offense to it or anything. He was like, "Ooh," you know, because nobody challenged him or nobody stepped up to him like, "Oh, okay, whatever," you know. And him and Alex had a good relationship. All my kids had a good relationship with my dad, except Omi. Omi was only like 8 months when he passed, but they all had great relationships with him.
So the funny thing about it is my ex-husband is my daughter's dad, but not my son's dad.
Mhm.
But my ex raised my son from the time he was like 3.5.
Mhm.
And so Jesse he is half white, but he didn't know his dad,
Mhm.
nor will he ever. And that's his choice.
Mhm.
And I think he's felt kind of lost, even though my ex's family has totally embraced him.
Mhm.
They raised him, they embraced him.
Mhm.
That's their nephew,
Mhm.
grandson,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. But Jesse still,
There's that void.
he feels this is my white family and this is my family. I don't know. He just,
You should ask him about it.
well, I know he feels different. I know he feels different.
What is he? Does he know what would change? Like, what does he need? What is missing? Like, what does he think he needs to feel validated? Or
That's interesting. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Even
maybe he don't know.
doesn't always feel. I don't always feel connected to him because he sometimes. I mean, he and I are contentious in our own relationship. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to your question because my children, both of them, are sometimes elusive in sharing their feelings.
Yeah, that's valid.
Yeah. And you know what?
And-
I'm too goddamn old. If you have a problem, you tell me. You've got a fucking problem. If you're angry at me, tell me you're angry at me.
We would hope that our kids understand that. Like, you can approach me and I will be open-minded. And that is the key, that you have to express that you are open-minded.
Yeah.
Like, I am willing to hear what your opinion, your concern, your issue is. But you have to be open-minded because, like what my dad say, not open-minded.
And I never got that until this last 17th of March.
Don't say but. See, you cannot say I'm open-minded, but because when you say but, you're not open-minded. You're not open-minded.
And they are not willing to have the back and forth.
Open-minded means you accept what they say without opinion. So there's no back and forth. It's like, how do you feel? Tell me what your thoughts. I understand that. I get it. Not.
Brian, should I continue to be open-minded? Here's the dialogue.
No, I understand. I mean,
And
you broke it, Brian.
No,
I
broke
blew
it again.
What
happened?
I didn't glue it. I should have glued it. Those are the quirks of the house. You know, just don't touch nothing; it may fall apart.
Well, and that's interesting for you and your kids because as a child of 11, I'm sure there's many of us that
11.
feel
In one
differently
house, one
for my
bathroom.
mom and dad.
Yeah.
And I
If
will
you
say
saw
I've
this
heard
house,
conversations
you'd go,
already that they
"Oh,
feel they need to know why certain
Three
things.
bedrooms?
Uh-huh.
Four
For
bedrooms,
me, I don't care.
It's
Yeah.
four
However
bedrooms,
mom
but
and
it's
dad
not-
raised us is how they
Literally, you
raised
go
us.
upstairs,
Dad is
the
not
parents
here to
have one,
defend
so that's
himself
three for
or
us, the
be
kids.
next
So-
to my
so-
mom, his wife, to
This, the
defend
parents'
anything
bedroom,
that
bathroom,
was done or
bedroom.
not done at that
You go
time.
upstairs.
But
When you
for
go upstairs,
me,
it's one room.
I've
There's
accepted
a
that
door,
they were
another
raised
room.
a certain way, so they
So
raised
these
their
guys go
kids
downstairs, go
the
to
way
bathroom.
they raised
Yeah.
us, right?
Yeah.
And the
And so,
bathroom was.
For me,
Tiny.
even growing up,
The
I
old
knew
days,
there was
that's the old
something
house
I
in
wanted.
the
I always
old
looked
house.
at my
It's
It's on the
friends
north end.
growing
Yeah,
up
sorry
saying,
about that.
"Oh, mom and dad like that?
That's
Oh, they
That's
care
crazy.
about, like, I knew my
11
parents
brothers
loved me
sisters. I
and they
can't
cared about
even
me,
imagine.
but they never
Couldn't
showed it.
imagine. But when you grow
You
up
know,
in it,
they
it's
never
just the way
said,
it
I
is.
love you. They
You
never
don't know any
hugged
different.
us.
You don't know any different. You're sleeping with
I
four kids in the same bed.
Longed for that. And I would look at my friends
So I got lucky
and their
because,
relationship with their parents
she
and
don't
would say
require
that.
much.
But they would
So
look
if
at
I
me
had
and be
like a
like,
shack,
your parents
like
let
if I
you do
told her,
everything.
hey, I'm gonna
Well,
get
they don't stop me from doing anything. So
tiny
how
house.
do I know? Yeah, how would I know? Although I
flatbed,
knew
park it
they
in.
loved and
Park
cared
it
for
in.
me, they
She
just
would-
never
she'd get it.
expressed
She would
it.
get it. you
And
know?
so I take that as
And
that's
a
what it
privilege. I think
is.
that's
Some of my
awesome.
sisters and brothers do not.
But we'd ever
Houses
go
too, they were.
To me, I'm like, you gotta let that dog lie because dad is not here
Four kids.
to stand next to mom and defend
Right.
that
But
part of it with her.
Right.
And to me, she's too
And that's a
old to
great
be
thing that
confronting
she
her at this
doesn't,
point.
Mm.
Why didn't
she
you
doesn't
do this?
require
Why
much.
didn't you do that?
you know, when you have somebody that
Why does it matter at this point?
Yeah.
You just
not
need
that
to
I don't
live
wanna
with it
want,
at
not that I don't
this point. They never
desire
did
for
anything
more,
to you
but
physically. There might be emotional scars for some.
where
I
I'm at
get
and what I
that.
have,
But at this point,
she's satisfied.
she's
happy,
85. Why are you
that's all
gonna
that
wait
matters
to
me.
say
She's
anything
happy
to
too,
her
so.
without
Right.
the other half
more
to have her
cars or
back?
anything like that, so.
Mm.
and then to have her be
That's
on
right.
her
We got a
deathbed
mortgage
at
paid off,
some
and I'm
point,
not
Right.
exactly
and
relaxed.
whether it's
That's right.
89, 90, 95, whatever. Oh, I didn't do that for them. Oh, I feel bad. No, you had all
There's a
this
lot of
adult
people out
life
there that
right,
are
to say something to her and my dad when he was
strive for a
here.
dream
You chose
that-
not to.
They can't
Yeah.
afford it.
So that's got to go.
Yeah.
Because now,
There's a
that's
lot
how
of
I
people
feel.
that
I've
are,
always
like, trying to put that
protected
persona
my
out
mom
there.
and dad, even
No.
when he
The
was
fancy
here.
houses and the
I've
nice
always said, you
cars
know,
and
even
the
though they
money
all
that
call it
have
the
that,
last three
They're
brats.
happy too.
Okay, so call us a brat.
That's
But
exactly what I'm saying.
it was
Still not
different
happy.
when we were
Exactly.
being raised
Oh,
than
try
you
it.
were being
Come
raised.
on.
There was more money in the
Try to see if
pot
I'm happy with all
when
that
it was just
It's just
5 of us,
okay.
3
You know
of
what
us,
you do,
than when it was 11
if you're
plus.
smart about life.
Oh my God.
You
So,
have
I mean,
friends
how
that
can
have
you
money.
compare?
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
You got all
You have
your
friends that have
money.
money.
That
Let them
I
buy
don't
the
even
boat.
remember
You
what
enjoy
the
the
check
boat.
amount was,
Go to
but
Miami
you got
and
all
enjoy
of
the
it.
boat.
I
There
didn't
you
get
go.
any of it.
You
You
have
see
a
me
guy that
complaining?
has
No.
a fifth
It
wheel.
went into the
Don't let
family
it
pot.
to you.
It probably
You know,
even
and you take
benefited
it out,
you
take
bailing
it
you out of
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah.
I
You
have
got
friends.
complaining?
I have friends that have
No,
all that
I don't
stuff.
care.
I'm like, you know what?
That
Every time
shit
I wanna
is
take
minuscule
vacation,
to
every
what
time I want to go to a
they
different city
did
or
the
whatever,
best
I
they
got friends in
could
those
with
cities
what
and
they
have
had, with the
townhouses or
knowledge
whatever
they
that they're not
had.
living in.
And
Oh,
I'm
that's
okay
cool.
with it.
Yeah,
Wow,
I could
that's
just
awesome.
go there.
And
Right.
because I went after what I
So,
wanted with my
If
parents,
you're
I
smart
have
enough,
it.
that's what
I had
you
it
do.
with
You
my
do
dad
people
when
that
he was
have
here,
the
and I
things that
now
you
have it
want
even more
without
so
you
with
having
my
to pay
mom.
for it,
I'm okay
But-
with it.
because
Yeah.
they're your friend.
And it's your
I
fault
want
if
to
you
enjoy
didn't
some
make
of the
any
things that I-
change and you
have,
only call for
But because
money
I can't,
or what can you do
other
for me
things.
or I come for Christmas because I get a gift or
Anyway,
whatever the
anytime
reason
somebody
you
says
come
to
around
me,
for. I don't even know anymore. That's your problem, not
You
mine.
should come over and come out to the cabin.
So
I'm like, okay.
What
Instead of saying,
I don't know. What are you talking about?
I'm just talking about life. Like if you have friends that have things that you
Oh,
want
yeah.
without you having to buy it,
Mhm.
like they're like, hey, come out to the boat next weekend.
Mhm.
Absolutely. I've gotten a habit of saying,
Do it,
instead
honey.
of saying, no, because people do that. Like,
So I have a friend that has a DJ thing here. We can karaoke anytime we want to.
Mhm.
yeah.
I don't have to buy the whole DJ.
Wait a
thing.
minute.
Just come over here.
You have an
Yes.
ex-wife that just invited us to the island.
Yeah, she said we go out
Yeah,
there. She said,
and you say
there's the code to the
yes.
place.
Brian, you take advantage. Anybody that says to me, it's almost like when they say that they have money. It's like, here, go ahead and let me. I say yes. I'm not
Yes,
gonna
honey.
go because I'm pride take pride out and go. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Got to get in the habit of.
Ryder's ex owner wanted to pay for Ryder, and you're like, no.
You say
I
yes.
said
You mean
yes.
what?
She said no.
But you got to say get
You
rid
know
of that.
She finally came
No.
around. She
But
came
that-
around
Okay.
when she realized what his
But
feelings were for
that's
him.
what I'm saying. So people that are
But he ended
privileged.
up not paying.
He ended up not paying.
Fucker.
His wife got to him.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So I said no.
Anyways, all I'm
It
saying
was
is.
our dog.
You don't have to own anything in life. You just have to have friends that have nice things that you want.
There you
And
go.
then
Do you have a
because-
boat?
Yeah, I have friends that have boats.
Well, fuck, let's go.
We can go. I have 2 friends that have nice
Let's
boats.
do it.
Okay,
Let's
we'll
go
bring you
out.
out. Next time they invite us, we'll
Out.
just say, hey, do you have extra for 2? And they'll
There
be
you
like,
go.
absolutely.
Come on,
Trust me,
baby.
we have friends that have nice things.
I
Nice
have
things.
no.
So you need more friends.
Yeah.
You need to open that circle after the virus. Open
Open it back up.
after the
What
virus.
friends are left?
Yeah.
Go from 10 to 20, 20 to 30.
Who's still living?
Check your
Roll
Facebook.
call.
It's virus free.
Okay, baby.
I'm virus free. All right.
Oh, where we go? There you go.
Elbows, bumps, whatever bumps.
All right. Hey.
Left him hanging. Left him hanging.
Okay, no worries.
Alright.
There we go.
Boop.
There we go.
Okay, we'll probably see you guys tomorrow. then.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe we do some karaoke tomorrow. Get
Yeah,
some
I
songs
know what to
going.
sing.
Send me a list.
I dropped somebody's hat.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm not handing it over. She's not handing it over. I'm not
Balance to anybody.
That's right, guys.
All right, see you
All
guys.
right. Good night, guys.
Bye.